Welcome back, sub-bosses. It's the first official video here underground at the lair of 2024. Now, some of you are well underway into your New Year's resolutions, right? Whether it be losing a little bit of weight, being nicer to people, shutting the fuck up. Well, as we roll into the first month of a brand new year, our resolution here at the channel is to be a little bit more consistent with the content that we are putting out. This may mean, for quality perspective, we may see a incline or a decline depending on the videos we're making, but all as an effort to get more communications back out to you folks here who have subscribed to the channel, and also start to kind of rub a few more elbows with the folks who have yet to subscribe here and become a sub-boss at the lair. Even with this, nothing fundamentally changes from the identity of the channel. We'll still be covering fighting games, talking about battle royales, game design choices behind many of the popular games that are coming out within the year, and also where we would like to see potential new games get spun up, right? So nothing really changes here, just looking to get a little bit more consistent with the format on the channel. So appreciate you folks for coming by for the very first video, and appreciate those of you who are just now discovering the channel, right? Whether you guys are watching us here on YouTube or are tuning back in from TikTok, where we're gonna start making more content over there too. Happy to have you folks on board and eventually becoming a part of the community, officially known as the sub-bosses. But to get to the point of today's video, while marrying it with the concept of what the new year brings, right? Real big focus on expectations. The year hasn't gone completely sideways for us, right? Since it is January and not June. For us fighting game fans, we still have a few things to look forward to as far as 2024 is concerned. One of the most high profile and competitive fighting games, sharing company with the likes of Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1, is getting a bit of a facelift. Tekken 7 is officially upgrading to Tekken 8 sometime in the turn of this very first quarter of the year. With playable demos that you can get your hands on, especially if you have a PlayStation 5, Tekken 8 I believe is the only major fighting game release of this year, unless there is some sort of surprise announcement from the folks at Riot working on Project L. This is going to be a breath of fresh air for the Tekken community, and I'm more than excited to get back in and jump in with some of the old familiar characters like Dragunov we used to use, as well as trying out some of the newer ones that have been introduced as well. Hey, and speaking of Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat 1, we're still halfway through their very first season passes. We'll have Ed and Akuma rounding out our season pass roster, which has already consisted of the likes of Rashid, as well as, who the fuck was the other person? Why am I missing that? What was the DLC? With the release of Ed and Akuma, they'll be rounding out the Season Pass roster, which consisted of Rashid and also Aki, who I believe was a replacement for Fong. So for you fans of the psycho-powered Shadow Boxer, or, more importantly, let's be real, we're all waiting for the Raging Demon himself, Akuma, to come out. Ed's likely going to be the first one up on the docket, and then we'll be seeing Akuma round out the Seasonal Pass roster here. Which from my end, I've been meaning to jump back into Street Fighter 6. I don't think I'll necessarily want to wait till Akuma jumps out. Ed does seem interesting enough to give a shot. And on the other side of the fence, NetherRealm still has more than half of its combat pack to finalize as we've made the turn into the new year as well. Within the next couple of weeks or so, we should be seeing Chameleon introduced into the cameo roster. Then they'll likely be followed by the rest of the remaining characters on a monthly basis. So from February onward, we'll likely be seeing the rest of the base roster fill out. Peacemaker, Homelander, Ermac, and Takeda are going to be part of that initial combat pack, which will start leading more of a tie-in to a possible combat pack 2, which I don't think would be a stretch of the imagination here as far as how NetherRealm usually runs their fighting games too in this perspective. They'll also be joined by assist characters like Mavado, Farah, I believe Johnny Cage, and the last cameo character I can't remember and I'm too lazy to check the leaks, so let's just say it's Cassie Cage. So realistically, for players who are fans of the titans of the fighting game genre, Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, seems like we're still going to be very spoiled with content and playability as far as that's concerned for at least the first half of the year. Where the rest of the year is going to take us, if Riot will potentially have some more news or playable builds of Project L coming out, or even if we're willing to give Multiverse's re-release a shot, or sorry, official release, depending on how the PR team likes to call it there. It'll be very interesting to see where that starts to land us as we move forward, but more importantly here, we're excited to get our hands on all 3 renditions of those games as they start to release on the roadmap. But with that, there's always the very common possibility that we may or may not have missed out on something as far as the 2024 roadmap is concerned. So if you guys know of any fighting game content that's out there on the roadmap announced that you're excited to kind of be diving into and taking a look at, let us know in the comments down below. More than happy to dive into that here on the channel, and also really wanted to hear what you guys are excited about. If Tekken 8's release is something that you guys are chomping at the bits waiting to get your hands on, I know I'm definitely excited to jump back in and see if I can still, hold it down with the Korean backdashers out there of the world. But as always too, from the NetherRealm side of the house, I'm very excited for that Chameleon cameo assist coming out the next couple weeks or so. I think I'm finally ready to start jumping into this season's ranked league with the release of her. Maybe gonna partner her up with either Melina, maybe gonna give her a shot with Katana, but I think that's the way I'm leaning. More than happy to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments below. As always, first video 2024, drop the like on the video, subscribe to the channel, become a sub boss for more of the content that's associated with fighting games and everything of that nature that we talked about at the beginning. I can't even remember what we said, so I'll go back in the video feed there. As always, sub bosses, ladies, gentlemen, my name is Boss Ron. We'll catch you on the next stream or in the next video. Until next time.